It is just after 8 o'clock in Nairobi. This is Sidebar. I'm Larry Madowo. It's such a busy day. We're still awaiting the results of the Nairobi Jubilee nominations. Will it be Peter Kenneth or Mike Sonko who will win the governor ticket for Jubilee Nairobi? Or will Bishop Margaret Wanjiru stage an upset and become kind of Peter Katikati Yao, right? Everybody's watching that. We've got people live in every part of this country on this day that the nominations have been happening both for ODM and Jubilee. There have been some surprising upsets. There have been also some surprising winners. And there are places where there are two winners because everybody has a nomination certificate. It is a very, very strange thing. I want to bring this to your attention right now, though. Bishop Margaret Wanjiru has been arrested. We've got some video we're going to show you right now. This is coming in from the Parklands police station. I believe this is over the last 1 hour or so that the bishop was there. She was arrested. You're wondering why? Because she stormed and caused destruction at City Park polling station because she claims that some irregularities were taking place there. So that is Bishop Margaret Wanjiru at a police station because of storming that City Park police station. Right now, though, so much to talk about. First of all, let's review the week in 60 seconds.
I'm saying I don't belong to the group that loses. I have been in this game. This is my 5th election.
Let those who are going to be elected on a free and fair process.
I'm tired of stupid media, okay? No. If someone accuses me, bring them here. Everything wrong that happens in this country is blame Moses Kuria.
There was a problem with the Jubilee Party being able to provide adequate materials, adequate logistics for those elections to be conducted.
These nominations and the elections will come and go, but it still remain the same. So it is very unfortunate that somebody should be.
The government will deal decisively with anybody who threatens the security of our citizens.
I'm sitting here with nominated MP Isaac Mwaura, and you're laughing looking at that little reel. Why is that?
Yeah, because it's the theater of the absurd, really.
This is your life, Isaac.
Well, I mean, when you get into politics, you get to understand it's the art of the possible. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, indeed.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're here because there's so much to talk about with you. We'll come back to you in just a moment. Right now, though, I want to take you first to Siaya, where the governor candidate is, for ODM anyway, Colonel Rosanga, who's the incumbent, but his challenger, the Raila MP, Nicholas Gumbo, is contesting that win. Nicholas Gumbo is now joining me live from Rarieda in his constituency. Mheshimiwa, thank you for coming in tonight. What exactly happened in Siaya?
What am I to say?
All right, I don't know if he can hear me, so I'm going to try this again. Honorable Gumbo, if you can hear me, what happened in that nomination exercise? Why are you contesting the result? We appear to have a problem with his connection. We'll try and re-establish that connection with Honorable Gumbo. But in the meantime, Isaac Mwaura is one of those strange people in Kenya who agreed. You were running in Ruiru.
Yes.
On a Jubilee ticket.
Yes.
What happened?
Well, we ran for the parliamentary seat. I think the race was between the three of us. The incumbent, Esther Nyambura Gadogo, Simon Kingara, who was number 2 in the last election, and myself. I was a newcomer in this election, and we had, honestly, a free and a fair process. And at around 2 a.m., I received a call from Esther Gadogo. She was concerned about how it was going on. And then, of course, for me, I could see the results. I had my agents all over. In fact, I've just come from meeting them. At 4:11 a.m., I called my competitor, Simon Kingara. This is an individual who, as you know very well, we had a tiff just last week ago.
Right.
You can see my ear is still looking quite funny. But then that is an honorable thing to do in an election.
Did you lose fair and square in Ruiru?
The elections were free and fair. The elections were free and fair, and that is a verdict of the people. And it's good for people to accept when such a reality happens, because very well you know that sometimes people killing on to power, they want to contest certificates like what we are hearing. And they cause a lot of pandemonium and mayhem. When something has happened, it's okay. Election is not the end of the day. I mean, you live to fight for another day. And for me, I think my heart is at peace. And why is it at peace, Larry? It's because I did my best. I mobilized the people the way I could. I was a strong contender for this position. These two guys had been on the scene for 10 good years. I'm the newcomer here. I had just moved from ODM, so, to Jubilee. And so, yeah, it was a young person, also, Larry, a person with albinism, the first ever to contest a parliamentary seat in this country. You deal with that hidden bias, okay? You could even see it with the Hillary Clinton issues. So I knew that what was against me. I mean, I knew the odds were against me. I need to try twice as hard. I ran on a youth ticket. My slogan is Kijana Mtetezi Mudhongo wa Ruiru. And you can see most of the young people did not vote because we were using the 2013 voter register. So and then of course, like the first time there were colored ballots. The second time there were not colored ballots, and you see also the issue of skin color. There are so many things that of course you would say conspired as to bring that result. And that still goes ahead to tell you that this election was for the winner. I mean, if all those factors work and the winner is produced in a free and fair process, the best thing is for you to concede and accept. And that's why I wrote a very good, and I have it here. Right. I wrote a very good concession, speech here.
This one, because the results are out and the people of Ruiru have spoken on who should be the next member of parliament.
Exactly.
And I think the interesting bit was here. To all my supporters, let us support the winner, Simon Nganga Kingara, of whom I called at 4:11 a.m. and congratulated him. I wish him well in serving the people in his mandate.
Yes, for sure. I mean, let him serve the people of Ruiru. I mean, he is the one who has been given the mandate. I would have, of course, expected that if I was the one who was successful, that my competitors would have also done the same. And so, for me, that is the true essence of democracy. And let me tell you, I try to do my politics differently. When I decided to move from ODM to Jubilee, I went and sat with Honorable Raila Odinga. And I told him that was my decision. And in fact, believe you me, just before the nomination, I also made contact with him. And I said, I remain eternally grateful that I got an opportunity to be nominated by your party to be in parliament. I think we need to have gentleman politics.
Some people say you're not grateful that you are nominated by ODM and then you conveniently moved to Jubilee.
There is nothing as grateful as returning an appreciation, and I did that. There is no way anyone would have won with ODM in Ruiru.
Right.
And I think that is a reality. And you see, you have to face such realities. And any politician in this country has moved parties. What is most important is the character of the individual. And I really want to thank, most sincerely, His Excellency the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, and William Ruto, the Deputy President, because they gave the support that I deserved as a Jubilee member to run for the Ruiru parliamentary seat.
I want to show some video of you and the President. I believe this was somewhere in Kiambu County when he was there. Do you think this would have been the same outcome if you were not in Jubilee? Yes, go ahead and run that clip as we talk about.
Hakuna serikali tangu uhuru ambayo imefanyia walemavu kama serikali ya Jubilee. Serikali ya Jubilee imetambua walemavu, tuko nao ndani ya serikali, tumewatengea pesa, tumewatengea contract za serikali. Sisi tumesema hakuna Mkenya ambaye atawachwa nyuma. Unaona? Aleta mwa wewe. Ruiru pamoja na Sui tumetenga approximately 1.6 billion shillings za kusaidia maji ya Ruiru na Sui ya Ruiru. Na hiyo kazi tutaendelea nayo. Sio namna hiyo? Sio hivyo? Apende wewe. Apende. Sisi tunasema ya kwamba hizi mabenki na
What was happening there?
Yeah, it was a presidential tour of Kiambu County, and I was with CS Eugene Omalwa explaining to him what the president was speaking about in Kikuyu. And then out of nowhere, I had the president calling me. And of course, it was at Ruiru, and that really was really wonderful. And it was also about, and when I got that opportunity, I took it to ask for the development of water, because there's a serious water problem in Ruiru constituency. Really, there's a huge population. We have 159,000 voters alone, not the population. And so I took that opportunity so that we can solve that problem. And I'm very happy because our project worth 1.6 billion has been rolled out by the government.
Okay.
So that then the people of Ruiru can benefit.
All right.
And I really want to pursue that so that there's clean water in every home in Ruiru constituency.
Let's leave it there for the moment. We'll come back and talk a bit more about Isaac Mwaura, and we'll speak also to Nicholas Gumbo in Siaya. We will speak also to Paul Otuoma, who is running for Busia as an independent. There's so much more on Sidebar. Stick around. Welcome back to Sidebar. We're still waiting on Paul Otuoma, who is running for governor as an independent in Busia. And we'll wait to hear exactly what Nicholas Gumbo will do now that Cornel Rasanga, the incumbent in Siaya, has been declared winner and he's contesting that. We'll speak to them both in a moment. And later in this broadcast, or maybe in the next hour, we'll also try and get hold of Governor Jackson Mandago in Uasin Gishu to get a sense of what's happening there. The whole Buzeki-Mandago fight is quite significant. But right now, though, I'm still sitting with Isaac Mwaura, the nominated MP. Tony Muriithi has a question for you. I respect this guy, Isaac Mwaura. He's a noble man, much respect.
Okay.
That's a good thing, right? But I saw a question I wanted to bring up to you, which I can't find just yet. What next for you, though, right now?
Is joining the presidential campaign. We need to ensure that, for example, we have people coming out to vote for His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy William Ruto, so that Jubilee can secure a second term in August. That, I think, for me, I am now fully, deployed to that end, so that then I can make my contribution. Of course, I will also be very keen to rally, special interest groups also, because that's my constituency. That's what I have been representing. To also come out in numbers and also participate in this exercise. One of the things that I really liked about my campaign at Ruiru is that I was able to bring groups that heretofore were not participating in politics, like young women. We had Warembo na Mwaura, for example, Vijana na Mwaura, and that was very good. And I think that has left an indelible mark. I gave young people an opportunity to be in the campaign. They are very grateful. They have built their talent, and I'm sure in the process we built future politicians. This is something that I have done even when I was a student leader and afterwards. Some of the people that I've mentored are even currently running for some parliamentary seats and whatever. And so we need to nurture such leadership. Just like, for example, I got an opportunity through ODM to be nominated to parliament, and through people like Peter Nyang, yeah? I think we need to continue to give people opportunities to grow so that we can have the common good passed over, in terms of the ideology of individuals and of collectively, and indeed a political party.
Nelson Mugo, Mwaura was not running to win. He is an opportunist. He's looking forward to being nominated.
Oh, honestly, it's very difficult to be a nominated member of parliament because you don't have a kitty. The kind of resources that I have used, really, I would have rather saved them if that was just an exercise. Believe you me, this was a cause that I was advancing. It was very clear in my mind, as the first person with albinism, I needed to run. And I did not want to be given. People are saying, oh, you should have stayed in ODM. No. There was no way I would have been nominated twice just by sitting around. My idea is to stand and fight like any other individual. And I think I proved that point.
All right, let's try and go back to Siaya one more time and speak to Nicholas Gumbo, the MP for Rarieda. Honorable Gumbo, you are contesting the results in Siaya, the governor's race. Why is that?
Because we were subjected to cold-blooded electoral robbery, and that's why, Larry.
What do you mean by that exactly?
We had a clear victory, Larry, and it's amazing that somebody can decide to turn, the verdict of the people in such a manner.
All right, I want you to explain this to me, because according to the official results, and you'll just look straight into the camera, Honorable Gumbo, Cornel Rasanga believes that he won that race fair and square.
Cornel Rasanga didn't win any election. Cornel Rasanga didn't even get 50,000 votes. That's all stolen votes. And it's an insult to hear people, for anyone to suggest that Cornel Rasanga got 140,000 votes. He didn't.
So what did he do exactly that ended up making him the declared winner of the race?
You look, really, the whole electoral process of ODM has been it's been a farce, really. And to be honest, I think ODM engages in fraud when they pretend to be conducting elections, because they never intend to conduct elections. I will explain this. You know, elections these days, Larry, are a very transparent process. Agents are sitting at the station, results are read, and they are transmitted to everyone. Anyone can tally that, and I have a tally here with me which clearly shows that by the time we had counted 411 polling stations out of the 573 polling stations in Siaya, I was clearly ahead with 96,812 votes against Rasanga's 48,065. How on earth somebody can even suggest that Colonel Rasanga received 140,000 votes is actually an insult to Siaya people. And that will be proven on August 8th, because we are determined to make sure that he goes home.
If you know that ODM did not intend to hold a credible election, as you say, in Siaya, why did you run on ODM?
Well, of course, you see, you must understand that we are coming from a history. ODM started conducting elections in 2007, and every year we are given an assurance that every succeeding election will be fair. This pronouncement comes from none other than the party leader himself. So when we were taking part in this election, we had the hope that some semblance of a fair process would ensue. But right in the middle, there were signs that nothing could be further from the truth. This is a polluted process from the beginning. I think ODM conducts these elections when they already have people in mind that they want to work with. And it's a pity that they engage in this manner of fraud. It's such a pity. I think really what ODM would have done if they were so hell-bent on keeping Rasanga there with all his faults, then they should have just told everyone else that you don't have to pay to want to be governor of Siaya country, because to me, I think they just engaged in a swindle. They were out to swindle people of money, and they didn't intend to call elections.
People find it interesting, Honorable Gumbo, that you gave this press conference this afternoon, which included Jakoyo Midiwo, who is a cousin to Raila Odinga. So how can even Raila Odinga's cousin be complaining about the ODM process?
Well, Jakoyo can speak for himself. I can't speak for him. But, the way, let me talk about the way the Siaya gubernatorial elections have been conducted. These elections, right from the beginning, we complained to none other than Raila himself when we realized that the people who were conducting these elections were actually appointees of Rasanga. And we told him that this is not right. Rasanga is a player in these elections, and it can't be possible that he's the one choosing the referees. That I did an official letter to Raila. Judy Pareno, who, by the way, is to me very spineless, assured me that these people would be replaced. And on that assurance, we decided to go ahead with these elections.
Are you going to file an appeal with the party's disputes tribunal or any of the mechanisms of sorting out these kinds of issues?
Appeal or no appeal, I'll be on the ballot box on the 8th of August, because to be honest, to perpetuate Rasanga's leadership on Siaya people is an insult to the people of this county. Everyone knows where Rasanga is coming from. Everyone knows how he has gone on a looting spree, impoverishing the people of Siaya, and I am shocked that people who purport to be fighting for accountability in this country can be the same ones defending Rasanga's leadership.
Is there any one point during Rasanga's campaign or during his governorship that you supported him? I think there has been people who have claimed that you even helped finance his campaign the first time.
Yes, we did. At the beginning, we did, because we found ourselves in a bit of a cumbersome situation. ODM was possibly going to be without a candidate. Rasanga was literally woken up from his sleep and made the ODM candidate. No one knew him. We had to promote him within our constituencies, and I did. And at that time when we were doing that, it was in the hope that he would carry forward the aspirations of devolution, which to me has failed miserably.
So are you running as an independent on August 8th, or what exactly are you saying you'll be on the ballot?
I'll talk to the people. I have the majority of people in this county. I'll be consulting in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and Either way, anyway, I'll be on the ballot on the 8th of August.
I want to get your quick reaction because as chairman of PSC, you've been very vocal on Anne Waiguru. She has just won the ticket in Kirinyaga for Jubilee, so she will very likely be the next governor of Kirinyaga. Your reaction?
I don't vote in Kirinyaga. The people of Kirinyaga think she can do the job, and I wish them well.
Do you think she can do the job as somebody who has had oversight over counties, over cabinet secretaries?
If the people of Kirinyaga think she's the right one, who am I to say no, Larry? It's for them to decide.
All right, Nicholas Gumbo, thank you so much for making time to speak to us in Rarieda today in Siaya County, speaking about why he believes that Colonel Rasanga, the governor, did not fairly win the nomination for governor in Siaya County. When we come back, we'll speak to Paulo Tuoma, who is also running as an independent in Busia County after losing another ODM race, and Isaac Mwaura is still sitting with me. Let's look through some of your tweets right now with Isaac Mwaura still sitting here. Felix Ngati says, Isaac Mwaura seems to be flip-flopping so as he gets lucky on either side for a nomination. Ask him if that's his comfort zone.
Fred Ngatia, I can assure you, I ran for office to be elected. It's very difficult to be a nominated MP. Of course, representing special interest groups has been one of my greatest, times, and I really have passion for people with disabilities, intersex people, the people that I have brought the issues to the floor of the House, and I would want to continue to have that capacity as an elected member, which of course has not happened. And I want to say that as a legislator, I performed very well. In 2015, I was given Wanjiko's best representative. Last year, I was given Chief of the Order of the Burning Spear because of my work in Parliament. So I think my record speaks for myself, and the verdict of the people is the verdict of the people.
Okay.
And let me say that I am so grateful being in Jubilee, because I have had a free and fair process. This is not the way like we were in Kasarani during the ODM elections. When I see my friend Nicholas Gumbo speaking as if he's an ODM outsider, when I hear Otuoma crying, and I told Otuoma that actually you will be set up when you went back, because I've been in that party. So in terms of comparison, Jubilee is much better in terms of internal party democracy, because while the system collapsed in the first day, but the repeated elections have been credible. That I can say.
Well, not everybody agrees.
Who is contesting? Give me one example.
One person who's contesting, actually, is Governor William Kabogo.
William Kabogo has not contested. In fact, what he did, he has considered defeat.
He did not consider defeat. Let me play a soundbite for you from William Kabogo, then we'll come to discuss. Go.
Someone does not want Kabogo as governor of Kiambu in the next 5 years. And I'm saying I'm done with it for now.
When you say about someone,
what do you make of that?
I think, to be very honest, I want to really congratulate William Kabogo. He has been my voter in Ruiru. I'm even told by journalists who came to my house this morning that he voted for me. So I really I thank him. And I know he's going to bounce back. But in this process, it was free and fair.
He said it wasn't free and fair, that there were just people who did not want him.
No, look at the gap between Waitito and Kabogo. 69,000 against 359. I mean, and it's across board. The United for Kiambu group seems to have carried the day. That's what people wanted. And that's the verdict of the people. So I am comfortable. And in fact, look at even Anne Waiguru.
You don't think that Kabogo was rigged out?
It was like Anne Waiguru, she also felt like the system was not for her. And she won by a landslide. So it is even the people who have been voted as MCAs, they are the ones who are popular on the ground. Personally, when you have, Larry, when you have a tallying center, or like when you're counting at the polling station, you have about 30 plus agents, each looking at the interest of different candidates. How can you steal that election? It's how you mobilized, how people came, and how they carried the message. And I can tell you, it was not even about money, how much you gave. It's not about the incentives. You cannot buy the conscience of a people. If people so decide, it becomes the case. All right. And for me, I have learned that great lesson, and I'm comfortable.
Amos Kitui, Isaac Mwaura insulted Baba. Now he's feeling, all right, I just lost this for a moment. Now he's feeling the wrath. That's what he said. Isaac Mwaura insulted Baba, now he's feeling the wrath.
I think there's nothing like feeling the wrath. How is Raila Odinga a factor in Ruiru constituency? These are predominantly Kikuyu zone, actually. Indeed, in fact, my competitors tried to use the ODM tag to deny me of victory. And it's rightfully so. If I was them, I would still have done so. So okay. It's a free and fair process. I'm very comfortable.
Isaac Mwaura's loss is the sweetest result of all the nominations. Ungrateful, backstabbing, treacherous.
That is, those are words of somebody who also is very I cannot respond to such kind of language. I think it's uncalled for.
Respond to this, though. Fundi Omaji says, Gumbo saying exactly what Paul Otuoma said. Clearly, there's something going wrong in the ODM nominations.
I also have said those things. Maybe those are the ones that are called insults, because there are people who believe that you cannot disagree with Raila Odinga. And I want to say for sure, I mean, when you meet Raila Odinga the first time, you are inspired by his mantra for change. But when you come closer, you realize that's not the case. And that's why people revolt, even in his own backyard. I respect him as a politician, as a very, very astute politician, but not as a demigod, I can assure you. Not as somebody who is like a messianic to deliver Kenyans. No, I don't believe so. I have worked for him as an advisor. I have been nominated by his political party. I'm very grateful. But the truth of the matter is a politician like any other. That is the truth. And I am also very grateful that Jubilee nominations are credible more than the ODM ones. So when I see Otuoma crying, when I saw Madowo almost lost it.
Right.
Because these governors of ODM have been paying rent every month. It's only those who have refused to give enough that are being shown the door. That's why Cyprian Awiti has gone. Okoth Kobado is a threat to the status quo. That's why he has to be finished. People like Ochilo Ayako, who did not win, must be given certificates. That's why you have two winners. I know ODM like the back of my hand. So I can never want to go back to ODM. That I can tell you for sure.
Are you just sprouting conspiracy theories, or do you have any evidence of these things?
No, I have been with these guys. I have been with these guys for, I mean, this is a political, I have only been to ODM. Now I am in Jubilee. And you know, this ODM is a school, because even Uhuru was there, Ruto has passed there, Kalonzo has. Nani hajui baba bana, na hii michezo. We all know him, but we respect him. Yeah, I respect him. And I earned my position. By then, let me tell you, Larry, and I need to clarify this to Kenyans. My name was supposed to be removed from nomination. It's only that I had intervened at IEBC. We had even been called at the Prime Minister's house to be told to step down for him. I asked Oburu whether you were going to step down for him because we were the only two males. He said no. So I was the target. I survived by the grace of God. And even if I remained in ODM, Larry, I would not have been nominated. So I went, I have tried. People have given their verdict. It was my first attempt to contest, even as a person with albinism. I cannot be happier. I didn't sit down to be given. I went to seek votes. I got the ones that I got. That's why I can comfortably consider. And you know what? I did what I needed to do. I cannot say here, I cannot sit here and say that I sat in my bedroom waiting to be given free votes or whatever. I went out of my way. I had a strong campaign team, Team Mwaura. We went in every ward, every crook and cranny. We had rallies of thousands of people. I was introducing myself to the ground because I've been largely a national figure.
Right.
And if you look at even domination, social media, mainstream media, national politics, I've done my bit. Ground politics, visibility, an issue because these people have been there for 10 years, and the results can speak for themselves. Okay. I have done more. Actually, if you look at it, if you have to look at it from that point of view, I've done exceptionally well. So I'm proud, and especially having come from ODM. So personally, I'm very proud of my debut.
Tomorrow, NASA names the presidential candidate. Who do you think it's going to be?
Let's wait and see whether that is going to happen. We have had this before, and I can tell you, even if they sit for 100 years with experts, it's not going to happen. But the only fair thing is to name Raila Odinga as the candidate, because these other individuals have really not been able to go out there and seek for votes. People like Mudavadi are waiting to be given. They have been given before, and they failed with Uhuru when he ran for the first time.
All right.
And so therefore, I think it's not going to be a surprise.
All right.
Yes.
What happened to your ear?
Well, there was
people thought that was some Photoshop, or you made it up.
No. I am still hurting, my brother, and I don't think I would want anybody to joke around with somebody's health. I was confronted by Simon Kingara's supporters together with him. I had built up a shade for the Boda people. They came and destroyed it. They removed my name, which was a campaign strategy, and they built their own. And when I confronted them is when they did this to me. And I can tell you for sure, Ruiru has got a very interesting precedence, because the last election, Kingara says that actually Esther organized for him to be beaten up and he went to hospital. So this time around, he's the one who has won, and he also organized this. I think we should not have that kind of precedence. People should win in a free and a fair process without violence.
All right.
Yes.
Excellent. That's a great place to end. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Asante sana.
We appreciate all the time. Okay, let me jump really quickly to Paul Otuoma, who is running as an independent in Busia. Honorable Otuoma, why did you decide to go independent?
I decided to run as an independent after I saw what was happening in ODM.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
And I thought I will not get justice, so I just said, let me protect the will of the people of Busia.
Do you think that, they say the Governor Ojamong won that and they upheld that decision. Why do you disagree with it?
No, Ojamong didn't win. Even up to now, they have not upheld.
But you didn't think that your
appeal
appeal process...
Very well. They said they are going to repeat, but I said I don't want to participate.
Right. Why don't you want to participate if you have faith in the party that you are running in?
Because they have not given me, they have not addressed the issues I raised as to why the elections were bungled. You cannot reward a criminal by trying to sanitize that we repeat.
You did not, they said that they're going to repeat in two tests, Teso North and Teso South, and you refused that. Why?
Because what crime did the Teso people commit in Teso North and Teso South?
The reason why you decided to run as an independent, becoming the first person to declare that you're going to run as an independent who's already a sitting leader, once again, just remind our viewers why you decided to run as an independent.
I decided to run as an independent after I saw the fiasco of what was happening in the party, which I have been part and parcel of, especially after the bungled elections in Busia, where everybody knows what happened, that we thought we are going to go through an election process where the will of the people is going to be respected. But when we saw something that looked quite connish and very unethical happening, then I thought it's not worth it. And that's why I used the example in the book of, Solomon, where he talks about where there were two women who were arguing about who is the owner of the baby. And, you know, when Solomon asked, what do we do if two of you are arguing about this baby? And one lady said, oh, you know, you can divide the half. And that's the time we knew that if you divide it into half, then there'll be no baby. So the owner of the baby said, no, instead of doing that, just let them have it. So I saw the party does not commit a crime. It's individuals who commit a crime. And that's why I decided that if that be the case, the will of the people of Busia still has to be respected and be safeguarded. And that's why I decided that now, instead of arguing over this thing, and I have tried to solve this problem, but roadblocks are all over. Even before we went to elections, I tried to solve the problem. Roadblocks were all over. During elections, roadblocks are all over. After the elections, roadblocks are all over. So I decided it's not worth it. Let us just respect the people, the will of the people of Busia, and we can get that through other means. That's why I decided to run as an independent.
Some people say it is very hard to be elected as an independent governor. First, because there are advantages of being in a party, and a big party like ODM, but also you need agents all around the county. So you must have a lot of means to afford it.
Yeah, definitely. Even this time when we were doing our nomination, you had to get your agents all over the county. So it's a process we have gone through, and democracy is expensive. It's not that cheap. But we cannot allow now elements who try to make democracy so expensive because they want to pay the pipers so that they can call the tune. That will not be acceptable at all. You know, just remember, I've been a member number 32 of ODM. I'm a founder member of the ODM party. But now, after seeing that the principles on which this party are not being espoused and the will of the people is not being respected, and I've tried to use all means available to sort out this problem, and it's not being sorted out. So I said, no, what is important is the will of the people. Let us respect the will of the people, and that's the direction I took.
Did you complain directly to Raila Odinga?
Definitely, even before elections, I talked to him. I told him, how can one person be appointing referees? He's doing all these. He and appoint referees. He's appointing linesmen. He's appointing match commissioners. Even as we have been helping the party, but we have not been taking over the role of the party. We help the party, but still allow the party mechanisms to do their work. But in this case, you now have governors who feel that when they help the party, they must take over the party and do what they want. So I raised that issue with him, and he told me that The officials are going to be shifted. The ones who have been nominated by Governor Jamong in Busia will be moved to another county, and those from another county will be moved to Busia. But that didn't happen. You still have that all the returning officers, the presiding officers were his employees. And even as we speak now, even the ones who are doing the tribunal are still the same people who have messed up the elections. That's why they are chasing out everybody. Even overturning the MCAs who won on ODM, they are being chased away. Tickets are being given to anybody. It's even worse in other counties where you find individuals being issued with the 2 interim certificates. And we have been through this process. As an old member of ODM, I can tell you that. And that's why one of the agendas we had after 2013 was to reform our nomination process. Because that costed us a lot. You will find that where the party was even very popular, you'll find somebody elected on another party ticket.
If you knew that the process needed reforming, why did you run on ODM only to end up with this grief? Why didn't you just go independent from the outset?
You know, what I believed is that I didn't know that the extent of absurdity will go to this level of madness that we have seen. Because I said even if they appoint referees, there are teams that have won, even in football, you know that, even when the referee is biased. So even as we knew that we were so strong, the will of the people was so strong, and you saw it very well, strongly expressed. That's why they had to do the kind of absurd things that they did. You know, that's why I was saying that even rigging requires some intelligence. You cannot go to 2 constituencies and manufacture 80,000 people, voters for ODM. You should ask yourself how many ODM members are even in those places. And in the first place, even those constituencies, even the members of parliament there are Jubilee people. And the Trotuoma was being labeled as Jubilee. I don't know, even there were newspaper, you remember, even one of your newspaper, which was clandestinely manufactured, and I was put there as having defected. Those are serious election offenses that no action has been taken. Even now as we speak, people have been arrested in Busia, even with the election material of ODM, and they have been taken to court. But even the party has not even bothered even to send just a representative there to find out what is all this we are talking about. So I'm telling you, it has been very unfortunate for the party.
All right, lastly, how come
And
there are a lot of...
I said earlier, the party does not commit a crime. It's individuals who commit crimes.
How come there are a lot of other people were complaining in ODM? We've had, we were just speaking the last hour with Nicholas Gumbo, who also says there were irregularities in Kisumu. Both Governor Ranguma and Professor Nyang' Nyong'o were claiming to be winners.
But that's what I told you. You know, yes.
Go ahead.
I can tell you that it's very unfortunate what has happened in the ODM party. That a party that, you know, boasts itself to be a grassroots party, we can reach a point where now the party is perceived, because I have already left. Even, you know, I have stayed there for so long, so I still talk about we.
Right.
But you can already see, you know, the manipulation that even the democratic will of the people is not being expressed. Yet ODM was founded on the foundation of justice, you know, for everybody, expression of making sure that the rights of people are protected. But now in this case, we are having governors everywhere in ODM who seem to have been given a carte blanche to come back as governors. We should have been told that when we elected governors, they had a free check for 10 years.
Okay. And will you still support Raila Odinga for president? Honorable Tuoma, will you still support... Will you still support Raila Odinga for president?
Yeah?
Will you still support Raila Odinga for president?
Yeah?
Will you still support Raila Odinga for president?
You know, you must also understand that in the NASA coalition, they are yet even to choose their presidential candidate.
That's happening tomorrow.
They are yet to choose their presidential candidate. And I don't want to be like Nyenze and all these other people who have been talking a lot of trash. I think let's give them opportunity to decide. But now, as I speak, I'm no longer a member of that party. I'm an independent candidate. And I just wish them well, that I hope the democratic will of the people of Kenya is going to prevail.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for making time to speak to us today, Funyula MP Paul Otuoma, now running as an independent for governor in the Great County.